There we go. Okay. It says we're live. Oh, I forgot to change the thumbnail. Yep. Well, let me do that real quick. I'm just going to change that out real quick.
Okay.
So give me a minute.
Ooh. Mama.
I was like, uh-oh, what am I forgetting?
You can do that like on the fly?
It's letting me do it.
Interesting.
So I'm going to click save. And yeah, that should change out the thumbnail.
Huh.
Cool.
Technology,
okay.
You know.
Neil is here. Wiki Bobby's here. Jennifer Delaney's here.
Hey.
The Night Owls.
Woo-hoo.
John Biggins is here. Cool.
All right.
Rich says, "Great show tonight. Bad movie though."
Hey, that's our middle name, right? That's our subtitle, right?
Yeah.
Our byline.
Janet, bad movie.
It's Mummy and the Monkey's Hairy Scary Hangout. Bad movie, good show.
Yeah, there we go. Something like
that. Good
that.
show, bad movie. That's the way we roll.
We did get an email from a fan saying that they enjoy the show, but our microphones were a little too hot.
Yes.
Like the audio, I guess, sounded too hot. So we did lower the volume on the microphone. So let us know how we sound, guys. Don't be afraid.
There's a testing thing.
Yeah, like if the mic sounds a little off, if the volume's too high or something.
Yeah, just let us know in the chat. We could always, take it down a few nachos.
Yeah, because I guess so. The movie that we hosted
was a little low on
the volume was a little low on some of those old movies, and then we'll run that, and then when we come back on, sometimes we're like way louder than what the movie was.
And I wish I knew a little bit this much more about post production and production, but we're just kind of winging this thing. And
when you're live, sometimes you don't realize little things like that.
But shows like professional shows, they have a way to
check all
make
that
all
ahead
the
of
audio
time. They've got a crew.
Well, they have ways to check that the audio is all even. There's ways to do that.
Yeah.
Even programs that would do it for you, but I don't have none of those. If I do, I don't know how to use them. So I'm working on it though. One day we'll get it right.
Well, now we know we could probably turn the volume up on those old movies and then just turn our microphones down a little bit.
I usually do, but then you have to judge when I'm editing things like that. I don't know if, I'm listening to it on my headphones, and I have to turn the audio. So what I do usually is I turn the audio on my computer up to maybe up until the last one it can go up to, right? I don't turn to 11. I get it as loud. Then I know how loud the movie is. So then I know all you have to do is turn it down, But
John says all of YouTube has volume problems. All of the videos are at different levels.
Yeah.
And then what I've noticed when it does run ads, the commercials are super loud.
Yeah, because
way louder than the YouTube video.
Because they don't have any, and it's probably fine, if you have your volume in the middle. But if you're watching a YouTube video where you have to turn it up a little bit, and then all of a sudden those ads pop on, boom,
Yeah. So
but, it's not perfect.
And I think even with regular television, like you'll have like a regular TV show, and then it'll go to the commercials, and it's super loud. I think they do that on purpose to try to get your attention.
That could be
when they do run ads.
Yeah, and I've also noticed some connections we have on an antenna TV, like the volume sort of like it has like little pits in it, like it'll go fine and it'll kind of get low, and then which is kind of annoying. It's not even a glitch.
Jay says set everything to 6 dB. That's standard. Oh, 6 decibels.
6 dB?
6
All right.
decibels.
Decimals.
Writing that down so I don't forget. We'll look
6
into
dB.
it. Yeah, we'll look into it.
I was looking if I put my feet up. That looks stupid.
We learn as we go, right?
That looks fine.
Yeah, I didn't even read the full email. I just saw it came through, and
That's okay.
They had a concern about the audio.
Hey, we're concerned too, so thanks for the heads up.
Yeah. So, okay. Ooh, there's a lot of people here. William Rochelle.
Usually we only have like 20 people.
Jonathan Jackson, the prize winner.
Oh, cool. Hey, congrats, buddy.
Cool. And then Mofei Chen says some smart TVs have volume leveling. Not sure about streaming apps.
They do. That's true.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought of, because they've been doing that for a while with some TVs, actually.
Mm-hmm.
They've had that way to level all the volume.
Kind of a recent thing. Cool. All right, so this is... Let's do the little intro, I guess.
Okay. Hey, welcome one and all to another exciting episode of
The Mummy and the Monkey's Hairy Scary Hangover. Oh, our after show chat show where we just chat and let loose, hang out with you guys.
Let our hair down, if you will. Mm-hmm. No matter what, it doesn't matter where it is on your body. Just let it on down.
Ooh, really hairy scary, right?
We live the life, But yeah, so wow, so we're fresh off of Cinema Wasteland. We had it a couple weekends ago in Strongsville, Ohio. It's a 3-day event. It's a horror exploitation movie convention.
A
lot of indie
film
movies.
Festival as well.
A lot of cool stuff.
They
going
do
on
like
there.
film screenings throughout the weekend. You can meet a lot of the B movie people.
Yeah, and we got to meet some of the people, a lot of people that watch our show, which is kind of nice, you know. And it was great to meet all of you that stopped out, and hopefully you had some fun, got some cool stuff.
It was, and then for episode 232 of the Harry Scary Hangout, which was earlier this evening, we hosted the movie Scared to Death.
Woo!
And it's a cheesy one. It's from 1947,
starring Bela Lugosi.
One of those like low budget movies that Bela signed up for.
And George Zucco.
And George Zucco. George Zucco was awesome.
Yeah. So not a bad cast, just a bad script. You know, who knows? Hard to follow. But, you know, again, it's...
The story was, like, kind of convoluted. There was, like, a lot going on, but not really. It was just them talking about the things going on.
Yeah, but if it weren't for movies like that, we wouldn't have a show like this, you know? We're not going to be showing The Godfather Part 2 anytime soon, you know, or, you know...
right. It is what it is, you know?
So it is what... Yeah, so
B-movie host...
Host B movies.
Host B movies.
Duh.
Ooh, what a concept.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one day we'll be able to host better films. And
we could talk about those better films.
And that's usually what we do here.
Yeah, usually we talk about some of the better movies and stuff that we've seen in pop culture, movies and TV shows. And if you guys want to chime in, talk about some movies and shows that you've seen that are good, you can. Jay Summers says that was Bela's only color movie.
Yes, that's
true. That was the only film he was in where the film was in color.
Yes.
And it was kind of weird. It looked like everything was colored with crayons.
It looks colorized, like a Ted Turner classic type of thing.
It was like a weird looking...
Yeah, it was, well, you know...
But it was early film.
Early color, you know. Yeah. But so was The Wizard of Oz, which is amazing color. So, who knows? The budget has everything to do with it.
Low budget.
They got the low budget color, but that's okay.
Yes.
You know, but again, you're not here to see classic cinema. You're here to see classic crap, you know? That's the whole point, and we love serving it up to you.
And the whole point is to have fun and make fun of it.
In between all of that, right?
And you throw in the funny sound effects.
Because that was initially supposedly the horror host's duty. That's where the horror host came from, to be able to walk the audience through movies when they weren't so good sometimes, or if they were too scary, it was actually to make them less scary.
I mean, some channels had better budgets and could get better movies.
Right. So you had two different kinds of movie horror hosts. Ones that had to, assure the audience that everything was going to be okay, and by doing comedy and fun stuff in between the scary movie, and the movies that were just complete trash, and they're sleepers, and you had to keep people interested. So, and that's where the other horror.
All right, so ghoulish goodies. Let's talk about some newer good movies. Ghoulish Goody says, just saw Late Night with the Devil and it was hyped up too much.
Really?
So some people are really singing its praises, that they really enjoyed it. Some people
are
like, it's okay.
So how are we going to do that? We just decided on doing something.
It sounds really interesting.
We had a thought today, because go ahead.
So, we're thinking of getting rid of one streaming service, since we don't watch it very often, and signing up with another streaming service.
That's streaming that movie. Starting tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, we're thinking of canceling our Disney Plus and going with Shudder, so we could watch movies like that and watch like the Joe Bob show and stuff like that.
Because ultimately everything comes out on DVD anyway. I mean, I'm catching up on a bunch of stuff. Mm-hmm. That wasn't out that long ago. The most recent thing I'm catching up with is what's that? I can't think of it. Timothy Olyphant show. Why can't I think?
Which show?
Oh boy, it's a DC. Justified. Sorry.
Or no.
It's a modern western, if you will.
Oh, I was thinking of the show you were watching.
It's about a guy who's like a ranger, right? And but it stars Timothy Olyphant, if you know who that is. And I watched all the initial seasons of Justified, but a new season came out just last year called Justified Primeval. He's in the city now, but he's like, right, it's a modern day thing, but he wears a cowboy hat. He's like quick on the draw. And it's a really good show. And the villain from the first whole series of Justified Walter Goggins plays that guy
I
with
haven't
no nose
seen that show.
on Fallout. And Fallout's another one that's on Prime that's getting a lot of...
Oh, yeah. We'll have to try, because that's based off of the original, like, the old
Fallout.
computer games, and then later on the Xbox games, Fallout.
So, yeah, I'm interested in seeing that as well.
But
so.
I haven't, like, I played the original Fallout games a little bit, but I didn't play the new ones, but I know of them.
Yeah, and you know,
I'm sure it'll be interesting to watch, regardless if you know about the video game or not.
Like, and I was telling you this afternoon, like Resident Evil is a game. I think I might have played the arcade game once in a while, like with the. Was that House of the Dead? I'm thinking of. I don't even remember. That was House
Resident
of the
Evil.
Dead. Forget about it. I've never played it.
House of the Dead is the
shoot 'em up gun game, right?
It's the one with the toy gun.
Where you
it's
reload like this.
Yes, and where you're just it's a shoot 'em up where you're just shooting the zombies. So kind of like Duck Hunt. Yes. Do you remember Duck Hunt?
Of course, yeah.
Oh, I loved that game.
So but
it's like that, but with zombies.
Yeah. So
that was a really popular arcade game.
So my point, I never played Resident Evil then. But I went and saw that movie, and I loved the first one. The first one I liked. The other ones not a big.
Resident Evil, I played the first two. I did not play the other Resident Evil games, but they made a ton of them.
Yeah, it got stupid.
And the first movie, I kind of liked.
I loved it.
I thought it was all right. But I didn't see the sequels.
What I liked about the first one is because I had no idea what the games were based on. I just probably saw it because Mila Jovovich is in it, from Fifth Element.
Yeah, a lot of people wanted to see it for her.
Yeah, not hard on the eyes to go see her.
Yeah, she's a pretty lady.
But so went and saw her, that movie just for the, but I wound up liking the movie even though I never played the game. So same with this Fall. I never played Fallout, but it's got a good. It doesn't just because it's based on a game doesn't mean it's going to suck. It could.
No, it's probably
and it probably should.
It's probably going to be interesting. I think it'll probably be good, and I've heard good things about it.
And it's a series. It's multiple episodes.
Yes, it's a series.
Cool. Yeah, I'd like to check that out.
Yeah, they're making a series of everything now. It's kind of neat.
See, I like that better than rebooting things. Like things that haven't had proper entertainment, like a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know there's a story, and they're basically movies that you play. I get that. That's what's cool about a lot of video games, right? They're basically story-oriented now. They've been.
Well, yeah, a lot of them are story-oriented, yes.
So, but now, to turn it into a movie, different than rebooting something that's already successful.
They did do an animated version of Castlevania. Since we're talking about video games that turned into shows or movies right now.
Did we try to watch that?
I watched it a little bit. I think it was on Netflix.
We didn't get into it, yeah.
I couldn't get into it. I'll have to give it another chance one day. Because I do love some of those old school Castlevania video games. And I love it because, and it's, you could tell it's very heavily inspired, obviously, by the Dracula story, the Dracula movies, the vampire movies. I love it.
I'm looking forward to
it. And the artwork's cool. Some of the monsters are cool in it.
When speaking of video game-based movies, I'm looking forward to the Q*bert movie.
Q*bert.
It's going to be awesome. Now, they did a Q*bert cartoon, I believe. But
yeah, they should bring back Q*bert. Or Pac-Man.
I like
Make
that
a Pac-Man series. But have it be, like, all dramatic.
It'll be like a big, yellow guy eating everything. It'd be weird. I don't know what they would do. They would, make it like humans. Oh, boy.
Oh, gosh. Live action.
No, don't do that,
That'd
please.
be weird.
It would be like a guy that probably... Well, didn't that movie Pixels come out with Adam Sandler?
Well, and then there was Wreck-It Ralph and...
I never seen that
Wreck-It Ralph was so cute.
But that was a made-up video game.
It was, but you could definitely tell it was an homage, like a little throwback to all the retro games. Yeah.
Crazy Climber, the movie. I'm going way back.
Oh, what was the one?
Defender, the movie.
No, it was an adventure one. It was the first...
Dragon's Lair.
No, Pitfall.
Oh, Pitfall, the movie.
Pitfall for Atari.
Did they make that into a movie yet?
No.
They could.
I don't believe they did.
Why not? Like Indiana Jones.
I could be wrong, though.
I used to stay up.
The Super Mario movie, the one that came out last year.
Oh yeah, the animated.
Oh, it was
CGI.
It was really good.
Yeah, and I don't play any of those games. I played Donkey Kong. Okay,
Donkey Kong's awesome.
That's what I started out with Mario in the beginning. Okay.
See, my favorite was Donkey Kong Country, the Super Nintendo
Never played
ones.
any of that stuff
because it was more like Mario, where you're going through the levels, but you're Donkey Kong.
Look, I'm a fire button joystick guy. It got a little complicated with fire and hyperspace with some, and then the trackball was challenging, and then after that, once it came to home consoles, after the joysticks, when it got into that the thing you hold and you have to shake it and hit the button underneath, and it sounds like it gets you ready for some other things if you ever get that lucky in your life, right? But yeah, I couldn't follow all you double click and push this and behind there and shake it, and like too much. I just need a joystick and a fire button. That's me.
Yeah, I like the old school games where it's just like you have maybe 2 buttons or 3 buttons.
Except for Space Invaders, because you had to wait for the missile to either hit something or go off the screen till you fire it again. Hate that.
All right, so there's a ton of comments here.
Yes, please.
Somebody needs to make a Mummy and the Monkey series. Oh,
well, this is
our series. We're
You'd
living
be like a live action. Who would play us? Who would play you? Like if I know you're gonna say you, but if like just for fun.
I don't know.
Who would play Janet Decay?
I have no idea right now.
Well, who's the most versatile? Maybe either just Danny Trejo could probably play me.
Oh, gee.
Right, without much going, or ultimately maybe Ryan Reynolds, right?
Or you have it like we talked about this earlier today. If you guys haven't seen the Weird Al Yankovic movie,
yes,
it's amazing. And he had who's the Harry Potter kid?
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe
played
kid.
Weird Al.
He's like 30 now, but yeah, he played Weird Al, and it's so funny. Like they did it on purpose. Like he cast the pretty people to play these characters in the movie.
But I reminded you that someone did that way before him. That was in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because at the end of the movie, Pee-wee's life gets made into a movie, and Pee-wee is in the movie, except he doesn't play himself. James Brolin, a very handsome actor with a full beard, and they gave him the gray suit and the little bow tie. He played Pee-wee, and Pee-wee's at the end, he plays a bellboy in the movie, and it dawned on me today. They even dub his voice in that movie.
Ooh.
Paging Mr. Herman, Mr. Herman. There's it's that made because
I need to see that movie again. It's
Paul
been a long
Rubens,
time.
whoever wrote that, I know it was a Tim Burton joint, but I don't know who wrote that movie. Maybe Paul did, because I know he's Paul Rubens who portrays Pee-wee.
But it's clever.
But whoever wrote that,
yes,
they said
clever.
Not only are you not going to play yourself in the movie, but when you talk, we're going to dub your voice. Because it's not good enough. But it was brilliant. So Pee-wee or whoever came up with that idea for the Big Adventure movie, it kind of did it way before Weird Al. But we love that Weird Al movie. It's still so good.
So here's a neat comment.
Yes.
Well, there's lots of neat comments here, but here's one of them. Kev Thulu says, I have Tom Evil Dead Sullivan as a house guest.
Ooh. That's fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, Tom's good people. And he's coming back to Wasteland in October.
It'll be great to see him again at Cinema Wasteland.
He'll be in his room. What'd you call it? The Evil Dead room?
The Evil Dead Museum.
The museum.
They set it up like a little museum.
It's awesome.
It's
I can't
so
wait
cool.
to go back there and bug him.
If you guys have not seen the Evil Dead Museum, you have to see it.
It's going to be swamped. He ain't going to get a moment's rest.
He will be so busy there.
Yep. Can't wait.
Let's see.
We have Louie joining us.
And Crypt Kitty Louie is here.
Hello. Let's say hello, Lou.
And let's see. A Janet and Grimm anime would kick butt, says Mo Fei Chen.
It could be neat.
That would be funny to see us in anime form.
And Mo Fei Chen's posted some really cool, what do you call it, like some reimagining of, stylizations of our characters. I think they translate. What I said is, I think our characters translate very well, with animation, comic books. I mean, it's
something different.
Are we
Why
not fun to look at? Are we? How cool, And a comic book will come. Maybe it'll be 20, 30 years from now, but we will have a.
Someone's asking. Ghoulish Goodies is asking, what is the beautiful kitty's name? That is Louie.
This is Louie.
That is Louie. He's our crypt kitty.
What's his full name? Louie.
I don't know. We have
Bear.
We have so many nicknames for Louie.
King Louie. How about that?
He's King Louie.
Lucifer. No, maybe
Lucifer.
Not. Fur. F-U-R.
Louie Burger.
Louie Burger with cheese.
Yes, Louie Burger with cheese.
He is so cuddly.
I've called him Louie Kitty Sausage.
This is like,
because he's like a little chubby guy.
When we first,
like a little sausage.
Yeah, he's originally your cat, but when I came over to collaborate, that happened. He jumped right in my lap, and it's been that way.
There's
a moth or something.
He's chasing a moth flying around.
That's right. Go get it, Lou.
Get him, Louie.
Oh, it's right there. Oh, it's one of those big.
One of those like muckleheads.
Yeah, there it is, Lou.
Those big flying bugs.
He sees it.
They're harmless, but they look weird.
They used to freak me out because they look like giant mosquitoes,
Louie's working the night shift. He's on the hunt.
They're our cats, our friends, and our exterminators as well.
Yes.
Whenever a fly gets in the house in the summertime, I go, bye, fly.
Yeah.
A few hours we won't see you.
But Louis a senior guy. He's about...
But he's still on the move.
He's about 10 or 11. We don't know his exact age. But he showed up into our lives when he was about 1 or 2. So, yeah, he's about 10 or 11.
He's the best.
Yeah, Louis awesome.
Anyway, another thing, a movie we saw recently, and we talk about stuff that's not necessarily horror and sci-fi only, but stuff that's, gets a lot of acclaim and a lot of notoriety. A movie, The Iron Claw. About
yes, we just saw that the other day.
Professional wrestling.
And we heard good things about this movie. And we have friends that are big wrestling fans, and I like a lot of wrestling stuff. I just don't watch the new stuff.
See, I thought it was going to be about that alcoholic seltzer water, White Claw.
What?
Yeah, the White Claw. But I didn't.
No, Grim, it's not about that.
I was like, ooh, a movie about booze, and it was about wrestling.
Not that.
I was like, this ain't no good.
So it's called The Iron Claw, and it's about the Von Erich family.
Yes, the cursed Von Erich family.
Yeah, the Von Erich family, it was like the 4 brothers, and they were all wrestlers, and then their dad was like a famous wrestler.
Yes. And he invented a move called the Iron Claw.
Yes.
And he just wanted his kids to ultimately, one of them, bring home a belt, a world championship belt.
Was that on Prime or no? We got that from the library.
The library, which is like amazing because you go in there and just wait a few months and stuff comes right there, on Blu-ray and DVD.
Mofei Chen says I need to see it. Yeah, get it from the library.
Yeah, without giving anything away. It's it's a biopic, loosely based on what happened, with that family. And strangely enough, our buddy Gary Smith, who has lent us a lot of videotapes, the stuff he taped in the 80s and early 90s, I found one I forgot to return to him, but on there, just the day after we saw the Iron Claw, there's a Current Affair was a big, like, kind of a...
Like an 80s talk show?
It was a late 80s, early 90s sort of like,
Expose type of thing?
Type of, which Maury Povich got his start on there.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't host this one, but there was a story about the Von Erich family, a whole hour.
Wow.
So I did put it on DVD.
So that's kind of weird timing that you found that, and then it was right after we watched that movie.
So it's from the early 90s. I think it's from like 92 or 93. So
okay.
I have it on, we can watch it this weekend.
Yeah, so there's... And I wasn't that familiar with those wrestlers, honestly, because when I was a younger mummy, I liked The Undertaker and Paul Bearer, Hulk Hogan, like the really wacky characters. Yeah. I was more like, I guess focused on those guys.
And they were around back then, and that's the thing is, I too was like George Animal Steel. Roddy Piper, you name it, and they did they were naming in the movie. They were talking about Ric Flair. I'm like, I know who Ric Flair is. I know who this one is.
Yeah, they had an actor play Ric Flair in there, and it was funny because it looks nothing like.
But it was, but the casting for the dad is spot on. Wait till you see the dad.
Yeah, the actor who played the dad does look like
almost
him.
Exactly like
the guy.
When
I looked up pictures of them on Google and stuff, I'm like, oh, that looks like him. I could see that. Yeah.
But I'll have, and Zac Efron from High School Musical plays like the main brother, the lead one.
Yeah.
And
so I wrote down. So Zac Efron plays Kevin Von Erich.
Yep.
Jeremy Allen White plays Carrie.
Yeah.
Carrie Von Erich. Lily James plays Pam, the girlfriend and later the wife.
Yeah.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman plays Lance.
Yes.
So Harris
another one.
Dickinson plays David.
Is David the musician, right?
He's the musician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the happiest story.
No, it's very tragic. The whole family, because they said that there was like a family curse.
Yeah, it's almost like
what do they call that?
Prophecy.
Self-fulfilled prophecy. Yeah.
But or is it? Is it just pushing yourself to limits that aren't
making
human?
Bad life choices? And I think it really shows you like the way like some toxic family can be, because I think the dad might have pushed them too far.
Even to the end,
even to the end, after a couple of the other brothers passed away.
It wasn't. Yeah,
he was still trying to get like the other son
suck it up, don't
to get
cry,
into wrestling.
That kind of a guy. One of the sons that was a musician.
Yeah.
The furthest thing away.
He wasn't even interested in wrestling at all.
He wasn't even. He didn't have the physique for it, but he wound up getting into it without giving a lot of stuff away. But you'll see it. It's
and ended up getting injured really badly.
But it's one of those movies too that I think that the reason why it gets so much acclaim, because it's not You know, it's based on real life. It's not a fantasy, and Hollywood seems to like, you know, really, and I like all kind of movies, you know, and that's why we watched this. You know, I wanted to see it. I still think the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke was a better movie.
I haven't seen that.
I would recommend that over this one, in my personal opinion.
But I enjoyed it. I thought it was worth a watch for sure, and especially like for people who are wrestling fans and like the history and all the different characters and everything.
What's great about The Wrestler, the Mickey Rourke movie, is that this is something we can all identify with because we see it all the time, and maybe one day this will be us. He did have a successful career, this wrestler. It's sort of it's not based. It's based on like an amalgamation of different. You know, it's not based on one particular guy.
Yeah,
it's a story based on the wrestling experience. But they let you know that he had some amount of fame in his career. But then there he is at a convention in a gymnasium, signing. You know, he's not who he was at the height. Hey, what was your name again? And he's like, you know,
right?
Oh, sign
it's
that
like
for
not
me.
the same.
No, but he's like in a church gym, at a little con.
And I'm sorry if I'm looking over here.
You're too distracted.
It's because I'm watching Louis chase this bugger.
Just focus on the show. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You've never seen it. It's fine.
Ooh, squirrel. Yeah.
Oh boy, here's a shiny nickel. Look over
shiny
there.
things. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
anyway,
this one's a little more.
We have company, please.
Yeah.
He'll never get that thing.
Kevin is still around, says Mofe.
Yes,
Kevin is the only surviving brother.
But that's the weird thing.
Out of all the brothers in that family, he's the only one that survived.
And going back to that real quick, and we don't have to stay with it, but I don't remember either. I used to watch wrestling. I'm not hardcore, but I know who George the Animal Steel is, Roddy Piper, you know, Junkyard Dog. Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, you know, you name it.
Well, they were more flashy, like
all those characters.
The
Von Erichs were around then.
Like they were around then, but they didn't.
I don't remember them.
I don't think they had like those kind of gimmicks. It was.
But they were dying left and right. I mean, you would think that would be something that would be huge.
And it probably was like big, but we just didn't. We just didn't remember it at the time.
To this day, I can't remember anything about one Von Erich thing from that time period.
I don't.
And I was definitely in the
They were more
Albano,
like the old school, like kind of
look. They were a little bit before that, but they went into the late 80s, early 90s.
70s, 80s, and early 90s.
You think they have to...
And anyway. Kevin Von Erich's, two of his kids were wrestlers for a while.
Yeah, well, it's in the blood.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we recommend it though. You should check out the Iron Claw. No, the Iron Claw.
Bone Jangler says Kerry Von Erich was huge.
Yeah, I know, and I don't.
So like we don't
I don't know why I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't. Like their characters or names must have.
Did LJN Toys make the rubber Von Erich? I don't know. Like the wrestlers, and I don't know that. I don't know. Yeah,
I guess we're not that educated with wrestling.
Oh yeah, I knew the Macho Man.
Macho Man was great.
Miss Elizabeth. You know all that stuff.
Yes. You know? And Paul Bearer, my Undertaker.
That's later. That was later.
I loved
Jimmy Hart. You know, I knew that.
Paul Bearer was awesome.
That was that was 90s and stuff.
Jake the Snake, the Iron Sheik. Well, those characters were like awesome.
Iron Sheik. Maybe
Roddy Piper.
But Iron Sheik might have even been better towards the end. Like I heard him interviewed on satellite radio stations, like because Howard Stern talked to him one time.
Oh yeah.
And this guy,
I got his autograph. Oh, not Iron Sheik, but Roddy Piper. I got his autograph.
Too. Yeah, I would love. She could have met him. But the Iron Sheik was like on all the time, and he just had little buzzwords like if you said Macho Man or Ultimate Warrior, you come into my hotel room, you smoke my marijuana, you drink my food. And he's
watch what you say.
And then he starts
don't quote all the things he says.
And he was the funniest. I'll never forget this. I have to. I might even have this somewhere on tape somewhere. But there was a guy named Scotty Farrell who was a sports sort of talk show guy.
And in a really rough voice like this, Scotty Farrell, how you doing, everybody?
And he had a cool voice. And he had a serious silent radio show for a while. And Iron Sheik was on there. And Iron Sheik, they were just taking, doing, pushing his buttons and having him flip out. And Iron Sheik just starts screaming. And then Scotty Farrell goes, "I just saw a huge hawker fly across the room." Because he was getting really angry and worked up, Iron Sheik.
And then David Hayes brought up, wow, women of wrestling. And then
We started watching
Or
Glow.
was that was Glow?
Yeah, GL.
Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling or something.
Yeah. And they had WoW too, Wild Women of Wrestling.
Oh, Wild Women of Wrestling.
Glow and WoW.
So cheesy.
Yeah, those
so
were great.
cheesy.
We didn't even finish that series. That was on Netflix.
No, we watched part of it and it was pretty good.
It was good. And then but the best thing to do is just go on YouTube and look up the real shows.
The real shows were way better.
Oh my God.
It was terrible.
It's 80s overload. It's way, so good.
Way 80s TNA overload.
I'm like, how did this not win every award on the planet? It was actually done well, and it's super sleaze, super cheese.
Neil says my dad and his brother would yell at the TV.
For wrestling in general?
Yeah, for wrestling. And then Ghoulish Goodies commented earlier that they don't like how in some movie trailers they like pretty much show everything in the movie.
It. I said, you can hear me comment all the time.
Yep, we do too. Yeah,
and it's not in a 3-second trailer. They'll show like a 30-second, which is a long time, or a minute trailer, which is forever.
And
for a trailer.
They pretty much give away the whole movie in
the
trailer.
And you're like, I've done this before. This used to burn me up all the time. I would watch a trailer. Now I just turn them off. I go, if I'm going to see a movie, if there's a movie I want to see, I don't even watch the trailers. I don't need any spoilers. But there were times I would watch a trailer, and this goes way back, like even to the 90s, I believe. Yeah. And I'd watch this trailer, and then I would go see the movie, and I'd be waiting for the parts I saw in the trailer.
Because you're like, well, I saw this in the trailer. I want to. Where are these scenes?
And you start noticing they showed all the good stuff in order.
Yeah.
That happens in the movie in the trailer.
Yeah, and you're like, wow. Well, like it's just you could chop the whole movie down to a minute, and you know what happens.
I see this one guy that gets shot in the trailer, and I see him again. You're gonna get shot.
Right.
They just ruin everything. So
it's funny.
It's bad. They need to, and I know they're trying to get people to see, but please save something for the audience.
Save something, yeah. Greg says I met the Undertaker and Paul Bearer when they had SummerSlam at the Gund Arena. Was in the running to win the Undertaker's funeral coach. Ooh.
Paul Bearer was the manager, right?
Yes.
Okay.
My Undertaker, the power of the urn.
They don't even do things like those characters are gone, right? They don't do characters.
Well, Paul Bearer's. Yeah, they don't.
No. But I'm saying wrestling now.
You mean the characters in general?
They don't do. It's all like people, right?
Yeah. I don't think they do the crazy characters
just
like
names,
they used
but there's
to.
no characters. Okay.
Yeah, Captain Lou. Someone Wiki
Albano?
Bobby says.
Captain Lou Albano.
Captain Lou was
with
cool
the rubber bands in his beard. Yeah, I showed you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper's buddy.
Cyndi Lauper was awesome. She's still awesome.
She used to jump in the ring and like do announcements and stuff.
Oh yeah. She's adorable.
But wrestling, I mean, I'm not against it. I understand the appeal. It's never been like, but it seems to want to be a part of everything wrestling. Like it's there, you know.
It's a big part of pop culture, and it's big here in the States. It's big in Japan. In Japan, they love wrestling. Yes. From what I've heard.
Well, in Iron Claw, they even say like in the 80s, they go, if you want to make it in wrestling, you have to make it in Japan. That'll set you up forever, you know.
So it's staged. Obviously, it's not real, but the stunts are real.
The hits they take
they
are
do all these
real.
Stunts, and they're putting their body through all of this, and it's more like just putting on a show. It's like a big stage show.
But there's no actual animosity. Yeah. Because it's all scripted. I mean, they have. There's no. I don't know if anyone's ever really.
They practice those moves. You know, it's all like.
And when they're in a little bind, they go, we're going to do move 2, 3 or whatever. Yeah, and they talk about it before, I'm sure. They go through it. And, they know who's going to win because it's all about, it's a soap opera with a bunch of guys beating each other up. Fake, beating each other up. They're really hurting each other because the hits are real and some of the falls are real. But, but there's no actual animosity necessarily.
Not that we know of.
They probably all go get beers afterwards. But who cares? It's entertainment. And
yes. Choreographed says
who tried to expose that early on was, or not early on, but in the 80s was Andy Kaufman, the comedian.
Oh, yeah. He did that whole weird bit.
Well, he was like goof wrestling, but then one of the wrestlers really messed him up.
Right.
But, because no one's saying you guys aren't strong. You're not tough, but it's not. But
they put themselves through a lot.
Yeah, and what they do is they outperform each other. It's like, so here's my character, here's your character. you're going to win, but what can I do to make you, because I can do everything I can to make you look not so cool.
Okay, so moving on from the wrestling stuff, because we're not really like a wrestling talk show.
No, but we don't.
But it was a neat movie, and we wanted to mention that, we thought it was a neat movie.
And it's a huge part of pop culture. I mean, we got John Cena, who's becoming this big actor now.
Yeah, and there are a lot of wrestlers that end up, they get big into acting and doing other things.
Dwayne Johnson until he did Black Adam was doing good.
He's a likable person and character. It's just I don't think that movie was very good.
That particular, but he's done way more.
But he's done other movies that were fun.
Yeah, Dwayne's been probably the most successful. One of
them, yeah.
The most successful, I think.
So some YouTube channels that we watch. Okay. We watch a lot of YouTube also.
Yes, probably more YouTube than anything.
More YouTube than TV or movies sometimes.
Yep.
So the Mads are back. We watch them once a month.
Yes, and the Mads are?
The Mads from Mystery Science Theater. Frank Conniff.
TV's Frank. And then Trace Beaulieu.
Did I say that right?
Bowl you over.
So Frank and Trace from the Mads are back.
Yep. Frank.
And we watch them once a month for their shows. They did a short.
Forrester? Yeah.
They hosted some short films like a week or two ago.
Yes, and they've been doing. Actually, it was cool because I'm a huge fan of Mystery Science Theater 3000. I'm sure a lot of you are out there, and it's cool to see a lot of the people that were involved with those shows. The entertainers have moved, broken away. But Joel's doing his thing with Mystery Science still. He's got a little crew. I don't really partake in that too much, but I do follow the Riff Tracks boys. Mike, Kevin, and Bill. They do riff tracks. They start to do their own thing. And then Trace and Frank have broken off, and they've been doing the Mads, where they tour. They used to do live tour stuff and still make fun of movies.
And then during the pandemic, they switched to virtual.
So during the pandemic, which Riff Tracks was ahead of the game there because they were doing all their stuff. They did live shows.
Yeah, Riff Tracks is cool.
But they were doing a lot of stuff. They were putting stuff
at
out there
like the DVD.
And
you
can download stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So even when the pandemic came, they weren't hurt too much because they had a lot of material that was digital. But the Mads, these guys, Frank and Trace, would do like actual live appearances in theaters and clubs where they would riff on movies live. But when the pandemic came, that shut it all down. So they started doing a once a month live broadcast on their YouTube channel. And Chris Gersbeck is the guy that kind of like put it all together. Works for Dumb Industries, which is the best company name ever, Dumb Industries.
That's pretty fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
Mary Jo Peel, who played Pearl Forrester.
Pearl. Yeah.
On MST. She's doing stuff with them as well. She does her own thing on that Dumb Industries.
The daughter of Manos.
Yes.
From Manos the Hands of Fate.
Yeah.
The little girl from Manos the Hands of Fate. What's her name?
I don't know her name offhand, but
something Jackie, I think.
You're better memory than me.
But she does like they host paint.
They do a live painting thing.
She'll do like Manos the Hands of Paint or something.
The Hands of Paint.
And she'll do like virtual paint classes.
But
so it's kind of cute.
But we've watched just probably every one of their broadcasts. I think they're into their. Are they 3 years into this? This is 2020.
No, since 2020, so 4 years.
4 years into this. They've been doing a once a month broadcast. It's gone by so quickly. And they do everything from like cheesy movies like we show to like doing a shorts night.
Yeah.
So we watch it. They do it the second Tuesday every month. And I think we've seen every one of them. Pretty much.
Almost all of them.
We've been there. We've actually got to interview them, not on their show.
4 years ago.
Yeah, when they first started.
4 years ago already?
Yeah, They were gracious enough. They gave us an interview over Skype or something we did it on.
Yeah, that was really sweet.
And we still have, that was an amazing thing that they were so nice to talk to us. Who are we,
So another YouTube channel, and it's a new YouTube channel, so give them some love. The James Groman channel. And I'm going to type it in here.
Our buddy James Groman, who is an amazing
He's
sculptor.
an amazing artist.
He's an amazing artist, a graphic designer.
So you get to see how he does his art.
I wish I had something to show you. I can't afford his sculptures.
Well, that's okay. He's got it on his channel.
Yeah, check out this guy. He does a lot of the behind the scenes now. He's starting to post like
about how he makks stuff.
Yeah,
his sculptures, his
stuff
like that. Yeah.
And I've known him for decades. He's probably like one of the most talented people I've ever met. Mm-hmm. I don't even know how to begin to do what he does.
So if you subscribe to his channel, tell him the Mummy and the Monkey sent you.
Yeah, he'd love to hear that. Just had lunch with him today.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, but yeah, A1 stand-up guy. Yeah, just interesting how people we keep crossing paths.
And it's neat to see how people do their art, how they draw, how they paint, how they sculpt.
The procedure, yeah. It's like you get to see the
process
like a 4 or 5 hour video I think he has up there.
Oh, that I didn't.
Sculpting or something.
Oh, okay.
And he
we'll
sculpts
have to look at it a little more.
Like cool stuff, like Godzilla, like licensed actual things,
like really
Marvel stuff,
high end stuff, like high quality.
Real TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Like, but not just straight versions of them, like Universal Monster mashups of the Ninja Turtles, crazy versions of Batman and other DC characters. Like it was like a post-apocalyptic Batman, Joker, insane stuff.
And then another one is the Bargain Barons.
Oh,
we mentioned them on the Harry Scary Hangout earlier.
Our good virtual friends. The
if you guys like videos of like yard sales and finding cool antiques, they find a lot of neat stuff. They're from Canada, Saskatchewan area.
Yep.
And they find some cool stuff.
Yeah, they are so cool, and they have an old Victorian home. And
it's decorated so nice. There's a video they did several years ago of their house tour. So you get to see how they decorate. They look for antiques to decorate their house.
And I know it's once a year they do it, but during Christmas time they do a fun thing where they'll accumulate a lot of viewer mail. Mm-hmm. And they'll sit there on their couch and they make homemade eggnog.
Yes, and they're in their pajamas and they're opening the fan mail.
And they do a real cute thing where they, and you could watch those because those are all archived on their channel. And they put out so much content, and somehow they found us probably through the reselling thing, right?
Yeah, because we watch a lot of those videos of yard sales and stuff like that.
But they took a liking to our show and we become fast internet friends, but with the virtual thing, it's such an acceptable way to know somebody now,
So let's read some comments, and then we'll probably wrap this up because it's getting late.
You didn't do wrap it up with your
And then we're going to wrap everything up.
Oh.
Mummy humor. Okay.
Hey, look, a fly.
It's still there. Louis didn't get him. He's like stuck to the...
I'm just messing with you guys.
He'll probably die on that light, the poor thing.
A shiny nickel.
Ghoulish Goody says, Riff Tracks, Tourist Trap, and Terror at 10 Killer is hysterical.
Now, we just watched the Tourist Trap.
We watched the Tourist Trap, because Tourist Trap is one of my favorite, like, Grindhouse era type of movies. It's so weird. Freaking weird and creative and different.
It still holds up.
I love that movie so much. So it was great to see the Riff Tracks version of it.
Another movie in that ilk, and it's a little rougher, but it's the same type of ilk as I would say, is Mother's Day. It comes out of nowhere.
I don't think did I see that with you?
No. You need to watch that.
I need to see it.
But it's kind of it's its own thing, like Tourist Trap is. Oh, a guy that can control dummy. What the? And this is where you wind up. Of course he's telekinetic. Like what?
So weird.
And of course he's
weird.
psychotic.
And the mannequins are creepy, and the way the mouths move on them.
It's still creepy. It's still even those voices didn't.
And then when they're having like the tea party, and he's Chuck Connors is dressed up as as the other brother, but really it's him.
Yeah. And it's
oh, would you like some soup? Yes.
It's wackadoos.
Yeah, the weird,
all of a sudden, you're in
the weird back and forth talk.
You're tied up somewhere. Not that, well, I guess you could be tied up being somewhere you want to be. But if you're going to ever be tied up, you don't want to be there. Like,
so
that's
creepy.
Not good. You're
so weird.
You know you're dead.
So weird.
But it's almost like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, but way weirder, and I think
it's
better.
The same vibe, It's
that kind of vibe, but I think it's
screwed.
A little bit. I like it a little more than.
They
Texas
know the
Chainsaw.
surroundings. I don't. I'm tied up. I'm screwed. It's like weird.
It's
just really
so
bad.
weird, so creative. Yeah. Let's see. We'll read a few more comments here.
Yeah, but Tourist Trap.
Ghoulish Goody says, I love Tourist Trap. Chuck Connors is incredible. Yeah, Chuck Connors. And I liked him in The Rifleman.
Yeah, he goes from... You were saying it's weird to see him...
It's weird to see him as a bad guy because in The Rifleman, he was, the cowboy hero guy, He was the good guy.
The big lantern-jawed,
Yeah, just...
tall... cool drink of water, guy with the rifle.
Exactly,
And now he's like
the hero.
Telekinetic, creepy.
And to see him as this weirdo, like in Tourist Trap, it's a complete...
With his Oshkosh,
Like, it's so weird.
Yeah, but that's where a good actor, but he's even good in a show called Werewolf. I mean, we have to pull that up sometime.
Oh, yeah, you told me about
show.
that.
It's really good. Yeah, Chuck Connors.
Let's see. I adore the insanity of Tourist Trap. I first saw it with the Joe Bob Briggs Last Drive Marathon.
Oh, wow.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a movie that you have to see. If you try to describe this movie to people, they'll look at you like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Years ago, I made some... I didn't really make... some friends came over, and I'm like, hey, we're going to watch this movie. And they're like, what the heck is this? Why are you making me watch this?
Yeah. And it worked on so many levels. And
so I don't think they enjoyed it as much as I did, but...
Because you know why they didn't enjoy it? Because it was different.
Because it was different.
It wasn't a linear... So where's his machete? Why isn't he back from the dead? It's not that type of thing.
No, it was just weird.
But it's still as supernatural as Jason could be because the guy has telekinetic power.
Well, I liked the creativity of it. I like horror films that are a little bit different like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like stuff that's a little different.
You catch you way off guard. And that's what they're trying to create, that sort of feeling of like when you're somewhere that you're not familiar with, even if there's no one with telekinetic powers, you're going to have that weird feeling, like, I don't know my surroundings.
Why are there 100 mannequins in this room staring at me?
Yeah, they know every inch of this place. I don't.
Why are their eyes moving?
Where am I going to run? And then on top of that, he can control...
It's so creepy.
No good.
So creepy. I love it so much.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Holds up.
And that's that, like, Uncanny Valley.
Yep.
With the mannequins looking kind of like people, but not quite, and then it creeps you out.
And
that's that term. It's called Uncanny Valley.
And they found some really weird mannequins. I know that they weren't made. I bet you they were real mannequins.
Oh,
too.
Those were real ones that they altered.
A little bit. Yeah,
they had to make the mouth move.
They're almost like
They dressed them up like they must have like.
Well, the mouth part, yeah, but I mean, I wonder if some of those were just actual mannequins.
No, they were real mannequins.
Because there's
another.
Because there's some weird ones from Europe that have real, like, kids and adults that have really big, weird mouths I saw from, like, the 60s or 50s.
Oh, yeah, where they're, like...
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They're really bizarre looking, but, yeah, so...
See, I guess I don't really, I guess that's one of my superpowers is I'm not really bothered by mannequins too much, or dolls. Some people are scared by creepy dolls.
I'm afraid.
Or like old antique dolls they think look creepy.
You're afraid of roller coasters.
But roller coasters I don't like.
Creepy dolls, not a problem.
Creepy dolls, haunted mannequins, no big deal.
But I tell you what, if I'm...
a roller coaster up high going downhill, no.
If any one of these things like turn like some...
Well, we did experience that once.
No.
We did experience a similar thing.
We did. We had something that it literally, I don't have any hair, but...
You have hair, Grim. You're very hairy, actually.
But the human me. But there's enough on the back of my neck that it did stand up for real. Like, I felt that.
Actually, where is he? I think he's on the shelf back there. He seems content on the shelf, so we'll leave him. Yeah, Ralph is on the shelf.
I don't know where
he's in the back corner. Don't touch him. Leave him alone.
I see him.
He's happy there because he hasn't moved since.
So that thing?
Yeah.
We were in my old place, my old apartment downtown. And I just got this thing from a friend of mine who used to work for Mad Magazine. He was a writer. I worked with him at another place.
So we'll tell this story and then we'll sign off.
And
it's getting late.
This thing basically is a toy from the 80s. And it's got a really like hunchback looking face. And one of the eyes pops out and it's on a tether.
Yeah.
And it's just it's got buck teeth. It's a really ugly little thing. He goes, I'm going to send you this. And he sent us an old foot, like a wooden foot.
Oh, it's like a mannequin foot?
But it might be a prosthetic sample, too.
I don't know. It was part of some store display.
We don't know what it is.
We still have this weird wooden foot.
That thing is weird. And then he also, in that same package, sent us some voodoo things, like real voodoo. The feathers and the weighted little sacks.
Oh, yeah, those were weird.
Those little weird things.
Yeah.
So he sent us a bunch of stuff. So I'm like, okay, thanks, man. He said to me. And,
thanks for these haunted things.
So I put this thing, I had two cats, different cats at the time. And they were older. But anyway, so I had this head. Was it called something Ralph? Not Wreck-It Ralph, but...
Well, I don't know. You seem to know what it was.
I forget the name of the toy.
It's some type of plastic monster head, and it's back in the corner.
It's got hair on it. It's really
way
ugly
over there.
looking. It's right over here. So I put this on a shelf, okay, which is about a good 8 to 9 feet by the wall from the door.
Yes.
From the doorway. Well, I know I have cats, but they were older, and this thing's kind of heavy, and it was on top of the shelf. Okay?
No, there was no way Jack jumped
up. It wasn't even Jack. It was
Jack was around then. Jack was
Misty.
around.
Maybe Jack and Misty. Maybe.
It was Jack and Misty.
Anyway, so we were getting ready to go out. We were gonna hit the clubs or something like that, and I'm standing, and what is it that?
No, it was during the day. We went out to go run errands or something. We came back later that day.
I open the door, and then that thing rolled.
No, the door was open, and you had it closed before.
Yeah.
And it was in the hallway staring at us.
And I'm like, how the hell?
It was on the top of a shelf.
Nothing. And there was a lot of stuff on the shelf.
And there was a lot of stuff on the shelf. It was on there pretty securely.
Yeah, a lot of trinkets and junk and stuff.
It was too heavy for like the breeze to blow it.
Yeah, and and when it sits, it doesn't. It's not like unstable. It just sits there.
And it was in the hallway, like it moved. Like it didn't like being there, and it moved.
I think you said, "What's that?" I turned around. I went.
We both had like a creep, like, it moved.
because my friend told me this thing does that. Remember?
Yes, he said he moves.
That's the reason why.
He sent it to us because it creeped him out.
That's exactly. I forgot that part. Yeah. So he sent it to me, and I'm like, whatever. I'll take anything, for free. And and God bless America, this thing moved.
It did move.
And I was like, okay.
Yes.
I looked at it. I said, all right.
Well, and then it moved again one day when I was rearranging things. Like, it didn't like where I had it, and it, like, jumped off the shelf. So I put him over there, and he seems content over there. Oof. And,
holy shit.
we don't mind him being there.
No, he's fine. He's welcome
He's welcome there.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that kind of stuff.
We just talk nice to him.
That might have been
let him sit where he wants to sit.
Yes, in my life, that's the only thing that's ever done that to me, where I had that hair, like the whatever's on the back of my neck stand up. For real. Like, I know what that means for real now.
Yeah. That was our little weird moment.
Out of all of the things, let's say something shook and it fell off. But out of all the things that fell, that were on the shelf,
of course, I had to be that.
Trinkets and knickknacks.
Yeah.
Nothing else was on the floor like it fell.
No, nothing else fell on the floor.
And that was a ball shaped because it rolled. That was the only thing.
No.
And that was freaky enough for me. And I'm like, okay.
So it's there, just kind of hanging out. And on that note, thank you for hanging out with us, guys. And good night, good fright. Mwah.
Say good night, Louie.